Okay, we'll start the session here. For starting the session, this topic is about overlapping sets. And what is sets? Sets is a group of items where they are belong to a particular category. And normally in UPSC, they ask they give two types of questions in overlapping sets. One where there is two variables or two items, and the other is where there are three items. For example, in one question they may ask that in a class there are around 50 students. Just write it down. So in one case, they may ask that in a class there are 50 students. So in one particular, there are two types of questions. In one question, they give only two variables. For example, they may say that in these among these students, they speak only English and Hindi. So they may say only they may say that these people read only two. They speak only two languages, that is English or Hindi. So this is a case where there are only two items or two variables or two decision points. And in other types, what they can do is they can say that there are three languages. That is, they may speak English, Hindi, and then they may say they're speaking Spanish. So this is the other kind of questions. So when they are saying that there are only two languages that they speak, or in any case, in any question where there are only two things for which the 50 students or any category of people belong, those are one kind of question. And the other questions are where three items are there. So what we do is we follow different techniques for these two questions. For example, if there are two items, we follow a double matrix method, and for three items we use Venn diagram. So I'll just illustrate with examples how to go about these questions. First we'll go about the Venn diagram part, like if there are three items here. So in this case, what they've said is in a class or in a school, there are three clubs: science, maths, arts. There are three clubs here, and no student is in all three clubs. No student is in all three clubs, but 8 are in both science and maths, 6 are in both science and arts, and 4 are in maths and arts. How many students are there in only science, and how many students are there in only science, only maths, and only arts? So we need to find how many students are there in only science, only maths, or only arts. Normally what we do is whenever we have three items here, we draw a Venn diagram. For example, we have one here, and we have two, and we have this three. So these are three clubs that the students can belong to. One is science, one is maths, and one is arts. So these are the three clubs that they can belong to. So in this case, they have told that there are. So what we do is, for example, whenever there are three items, so we write a Venn diagram like this, where this area, for example, I'll write A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So G is the area where all the three sets, for example, in this case, science, maths, and arts. in this case, where the students, G is the area where the students belong to all the three clubs, and C is an area or the number of students who belong to both science and maths, only to both science and maths, and they don't belong to all the three. And D is an area or the students who belong to both science and arts. E are the students who belong to maths and arts. So this is how we represent through Venn diagram. So in this case, what they have said is, and whenever we are solving these kinds of questions, we start from the innermost area, that is this part. We start from this part, that is where all the three converge, and then we slowly go outwards. For example, in this case, they have said that no student is in all the three clubs. So in this case, in all the three clubs, nobody is there. So this area becomes 0. And then from here, we go outwards. For example, they are saying here that 8 are in both, and here 20 students are there for science. 30 are there in maths, and 12 are there in arts. So these are the number of students who are there. So 20 in science, 30 in maths, and 12 in arts. So no students. So the standard rule is to begin from the most, from the middle, the center point where all the three sets meet. So in this case, they have given that no student is in all three clubs. So number of students in all three clubs is 0. And from here we go outwards. We take statement one by one, and then we solve for all other variables. That is A, C, B, D, E, and F. So they are saying that 8 students are both in science and maths. So 8 students are both in science and maths. So 8 would be here. And then 6 are in both science and arts. 6 are in both science and arts, 6 students. And then they are saying that 4 are in maths and arts. 4 are in maths and arts. Now, they have given that the total number of students who are in science club is 20. So we already have 8 plus 6, that is 8 plus 6 is 14. So the remaining are out of 20, if we remove 14, it would be 6. So this one is 6. And there are like totally in maths, there are 30. And already we have counted like 8 and 4, 12. And the remaining part is 18. And here 6 and 4, like 6 are number of students. Number of students who are in science and arts are 6, and number of students who are in science and maths club are 4. So the remaining is 2. So totally when you add this, you would get this number, the number of students in arts club. So what they're asking is how many students are there in only science? Only science students are 6. For the first question, the answer is 6. And second question, how many students are there only in maths? Maths, only 18 students are there. So number of students are only 18. And third, how many students are there in only arts? In only arts, there are only 2 students. So this is how we solve for sets where there are 3 variables. Like in this case, there are 3 subjects, or say 3 clubs: science, maths, and arts. This is one kind of questions that normally UPSC asks. And we'll go to the second type where there is only 2 variables. For example, in this case, what they have said is, in a competitive examination, 250 students have registered. Out of this, 50 students have registered for physics, 75 students have registered for mathematics, and 35 students have registered for both maths and physics. What is the number of students who have registered neither for physics nor for maths? So in these type of cases where there are only 2 items, like there are only physics and maths, where there are only physics and maths. So what we do is we use a double matrix method. What is a double matrix method? We make a chart where the the column headings and the row headings are mutually exclusive. So what we do is, in this case, there are two subjects, and they have told that they have 50 people, 50 students have registered for physics, and they have registered for maths. So two mutually exclusive would be people who have registered for physics and not registered for physics. Not registered for physics. So these are two mutually exclusive items. And then the other two mutually exclusive items are people who have registered for maths and not registered for maths. Not registered for maths. So, and this is total. So in these type of cases, where only two subjects or two items are there, we draw a chart like this, where these two are mutually exclusive. So if a student has registered for physics, then the other section would be they have not registered for physics. If people who have registered for maths, the other part of the class would not have registered for maths. So these two things should be mutually exclusive, and there should be no overlap between these two. And this is the total. So how would we solve this? They have given that in this competitive examination, 250 students have registered. The total students are 250. And out of these, 50 have registered for physics. So 50 have registered for physics. 50 have registered for physics. So physics column, they have registered for physics. And so people who have not registered for physics is 200. Because 50 plus 200 is 250. So this would be 200 people who have not registered for physics. And after that, they are saying that 50 students have registered for physics. So number of students who have not registered for physics is 200. 75 students have registered for maths. 75 maths in maths row, we'll put 75 here. This is 75, and the remaining is 175. So the remaining people who have not registered for maths is 175. This is how we write. And then they are saying that 35 students have registered for both maths and physics. So maths and physics, 35 students are registered. So here it would be 35. And after this, our job is to just fill these, the blank spaces here. So 35 and 75, this would be 40. And then this is 35 and another 15 would make this 50. And then this would be 160. So when you add this column 35 plus 15, you would get 50. 40 plus 160, you would get 200. 35 plus 40, you would get 75. 15 plus 160, you would get 175. 75 plus 175, you will get 250. So all these things should match. And then we'll see what they have asked. They've asked that what is the number of students who have registered neither for physics nor for maths. So neither for physics and nor for maths is 160. This is the answer that we are looking for. The correct answer is option D. So these are the two kinds of problems that we normally face, or normally which UPSC gives. One is where 3 items are given. In this case, we use the Venn diagram, and when only 2 items are given. And in this case, we use this double matrix or chart method. I hope this is understood. I mean, this is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Please let me know in the chat section if you have any doubts. Second. Okay. So box filling, what we do is, whenever we make a chart in this, whenever there is only 2 items, for example, in this case, they are discussing only about maths and physics. So when there are only 2 items, when there are 3 items, we use this Venn diagram, that is 3 circles and 1 overlapping, all the 3 overlapping. And when there are only 2 items, this is an efficient method to solve the question. So in these kinds of cases, these rows would be mutually exclusive, and the columns would also be mutually exclusive. In this case, they have said that there are people who have registered for physics and people who have registered for maths. If there are people who have registered for physics, then there would be people who have not registered for physics, and these two are mutually exclusive. If mutually exclusive means, if, for example, in the class there are boys and girls, and these 2 categories would be mutually exclusive. If he's a boy, he will not be a girl, and if he's a girl, he will not be a boy. She will not be a boy. So similarly, if a person has registered for physics, he would not have registered for physics. If a person has registered for maths, he would not have registered for maths. So these 2 columns are mutually exclusive, and these 2 rows are mutually exclusive. And then what we do is we write the third row and the third column. This is the third row. Third row will have total. And here the third column will have total. And what we do is they have told that totally there are 250 students. So this 250 will write it here. And then what they do is they give the data. For example, in this case, they have given that 50 students have registered for physics. So 50 have registered for physics. 50 have written it here. 50. So if 50 have registered for physics, there would be 200 students who have not registered for physics. It's what is called mutually exclusive. So I'll write 200 here. Because out of 250, 50 are here, so 200 would be here. So totally would be 50 plus 200 is 250. This is 200. And then 75 students have registered for mathematics. So I'll write here total maths, people who have registered for maths are 75. This I've written here. And the people who have not registered for maths is 250 minus 75, that is 175. So 175 would come here. And then they have said 35 students have registered for both mathematics and physics. So in this case, which column is both overlap of maths and physics? This cell. 35 people have registered for both maths and physics. So I have write 35 here. And in this chart, each column would add to the total and each row would add to the total here. So in this case, in maths, I have written 35, the total is 75 and the difference would be 40. So 40 people would not have registered for physics. And here there are Total students who have registered for physics is 50. Out of that, the people who have registered for maths and physics is 35. The remaining is 15. And here I have written 175. So 15 have registered for physics. The remaining are who have not registered for physics is 165. So all these items would add to 250. Here you could add to 200. This row would add to 50. 200 plus 50 is 250. This column, maths column is 75. Not registered for maths is 175. This two column, if we add, it will come to 250. And this is how we solve these type of questions. I hope things are clear. If there is any doubt, please ask, or else things will be clear when you solve the questions. I hope, Prajwal, this is clear. Yeah, this is not registered for both maths and physics. 160. Is the number of students. What is the number of students who have registered neither for physics nor for maths? This is neither for physics nor for maths is 160. Is it clear? Okay. If there are any doubts, please ask. Else we'll move to the problems. We'll start with solving problems, and these methods will be more clear when you are solving problems. So these are the two basic techniques used to solve these kinds of problems. And if things are clear, so one is using, if there are only two items, you use this matrix method or this chart method. If there are three items that they have given, then we use Venn diagram. That is three circles, three intersecting circles. And then we solve for the variables. So if things are clear, we'll move to the problems. I'll give you 2 minutes to solve. So take 2 minutes to solve this question. Shweta, we can do second problem using Venn diagram, but the matrix method is much more efficient. You don't have to tackle with all the variables and all. So when I'll show you when we are solving problems here. So take 2 minutes to solve this question. We'll see how to go about this using both the methods later. Okay, we'll see how to go about this question. What they're telling us, there are 120 musicians in a club, and 5% can play all the three instruments: guitar, violin, and flute. So there are three instruments: guitar, violin, and flute, and all are musicians. So everyone out of this 120, they play one or the other instruments. It so happens that the number of musicians who play any two and only two of the above instruments is 30. The number of musicians who can play the guitar alone is 40. They are asking what is the total number of those who can play violin alone or flute alone. So there are three items here: flute, violin, and guitar. So we use a Venn diagram here. So we draw three circles which are intersecting. And then they are saying that 5% can play all the, there are 120 total. So this club has 120. This is the total club. This represents the club. And in that 120 are musicians. So all of them are at least using one or the other, at least one instrument. And the first statement says that there are 120. I'll write it 120 here. The first statement states that 5% can play all the three instruments, guitar, violin, and flute. 5% of 120 is 6. So 6 people, they play all the three instruments. And it so happens that the number of musicians who can play any two and only two of the above instrument is 30. So for example, let this area be A, B, C, and this circle be guitar. I'll write G here, violin, and flute. So number of people or musicians who play only guitar and violin is A. Number of musicians who play only guitar and flute is B. And number of people who play only violin and flute is C. So what they're saying is that it so happens that the number of musicians who can play any two and only two, the maximum is 2 and the minimum is also 2. So what they're saying is 30. So what they've given is A plus B plus C is equal to 30. And this is 6. This is 6. And they're saying that number of musicians, and let this be E, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and number of musicians who can play guitar alone. Guitar alone is 40. So this area is 40. They play only guitar. So what is the total number of those who play violin alone and flute alone? So violin alone is this area, let it be D, and flute area is only E. Only flute and only violin is D and E. So they are asking what is D plus E. This is what we have to calculate. So we know that A plus B plus C is equal to 30. And we know that all these people combined, there will be 120. So if I take that A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C plus all the three combined is 6 plus this 40 plus this D plus E. So when we add 40, D, E, A, B, C and 6, you would get 120. And we know that ABC is 30. I'll write 30 here. And this is 6. And this is 40. And we have to calculate D plus E. So I'll mark this as in the brackets. Plus D plus E. Is equal to 120. And now D plus E be equal to 120. This is 120 minus 30 plus 6 is 36 plus 40 is 76 minus 76. This is equal to 44. This is 44. So the correct answer is option B, 44. I hope this is clear. If there is any doubt, okay. So we'll move to the next question. So take 2 minutes to solve this question. Okay, we'll see how to go about this question here. So what they're saying is, in a town, 45% of the population read magazine A, 55% read magazine B, 40% read magazine C, 30% read magazines A and B, 15% read magazines B and C, and 25% read magazine A and C, and 10% read all the three magazines. What percentage do not read any magazine? So they are asking what percentage of people in the town do not read any magazines. So what we do is, first we represent the town as a square. And then we draw these. There are three things here: magazine A, B, and C. So we would use a Venn diagram. So 1, 2, and 3. And one is magazine A, one is magazine B, one is magazine C. And as I've already said, we'll start from the centermost part. So here they have said that 10% read all the three magazines. So out of the 100%, 10% read all the magazines. And then we'll go outwards. Now we'll see what is A and B. A and B, 30% read magazines A and B. So 10% read all the three. So out of this, they're saying that 30% read. So this area is 30%. This plus this is 30%. So this alone would be 20%. So this is 30%. A and B overlap is 30%. So this is 10. This would be 20. And then they're saying 15% read magazines B and C. B and C 15%. So 10 is already there. 10% read all the three magazines. In B and C, that is 15%. So this area would be 5%. So 10 and 5 together forms 15%. And then 25% read magazine A and C. So 25% read magazine A and C. 10% is already there. So this would be 15%. This is 15%. Now, what we are saying in magazine A is 45% of population read magazine A. So 45 would be 20 plus 10, 30 plus 45. 45, all the 45 are here. So this would be 0. Only A would be 0 because together it is 45. And then 55% read magazine B. Magazine B, they read 55%. These three would add to 20, 30, 35. And 55 totally they read magazine B. So this would be 20. So 20 plus 20, 40. 40 plus 10 is 50. 50 plus 5 is 55. Totally 55% read magazine B. Then magazine C, 40% read magazine C. So 15 plus 5, 20 plus 10, 30. 30. So 40% read magazine C. So this is 10. I hope this is clear till now. How we approach, how we got 0, 20 and 10. We took the 10% who read all the 3 magazines, this 10, and then we have solved outward. So first we calculated A and B. A and B is here 30% read A and B, so 10% read all the 3 magazines. This would be 20. So this would be 20. And then 15% read magazines B and C. So magazine B and C, 15 is there. So 10 is already inside. So this would be 5. So this becomes 5 here. And then 25% read magazines A and C. 25% read magazine A and C. 10 is already here. So 25, it has to be 25 A and C common. So these two area, this area would be the common area between A and C. That would be 25. 10 is already in the center. So the other part is 15. So 15 plus 10 is 25, combined 25. And then again we go outside. For example, here they have said 45% population read only magazine A. So 20, 10 and 15. Total is 45. So the remaining would be 0 because total anyway is 45. The remaining would be 0. And then 55% read option as magazine B. 55 is 20, 10, 5. This would be 35. So the remaining would be 50. To make it 55, the remaining would have been 20. And similarly, for magazine C, 40% read magazine C. 15 plus 5 is 20 plus 10 is 30. 40% read magazine C. So another 10 would be from here. Only 10 people read only mag C alone. Hope this is clear. Now, if we add all these percentages, and total is 100% here. Total village population is 100. So if we all add all this, 20 plus 20 is 40. 40 plus 10 is 50. 50 plus 10 is 60. 60 plus 15 is 75 plus 5 is 80. So 80 people, 80% read one or the other magazine, at least one magazine. One magazine. So they read at least one magazine. So the remaining would be 20%. 100 minus 80 is 20. So the remaining 20% of this town. So this box represents the town. So remaining 20% of that town don't read any magazines. So the answer is option C. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubts, please let me know. So we'll move to the next question then. So take 2 minutes to solve this question. Out of 130 students appearing in an examination, 62 have failed in English, 52 have failed in maths, whereas 24 have failed in both English and maths. So the number of students who have passed finally is. So the number of students who have passed finally would be those students who have passed in English and who have also passed in maths. And since this contains only 2 subjects here, English and maths, we will use the chart method. If there were 3 subjects, we would have used the pie diagrams, pie charts, or the Venn diagram, sorry. So we have to, for the columns and for the rows, we have to form 2 mutually exclusive one. So one I would, as a row, one I would select as English pass. And then the other row would be English fail. And then columns would be maths pass, maths pass, and then maths fail. Maths pass and maths fail. This is total. This is total. There are total 130 students. I'll write 130 here. So please watch carefully how I would solve this question. There are 130 students here, total students. And out of that, 62 have failed in English. So number of people who have failed in English is 62. This would be 62. Number of students who have failed in English. English fail is 62. So English pass would be 130 minus 62. 130 minus 62. That would be 68. So total students out of 130, 62 have failed in English and 68 have failed in English. Sorry, passed in English. Total would be 130. 8 plus 2 is 10. 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 1 carry 13. 130. Now the next data that they have given us, 52 have failed in maths. Maths fail column is 52. This is 52. So then if my number of students who have failed in maths is 52, number of students who have failed in passed in maths would be 130 minus 52. So that would be 78. So 78 students have passed in maths and 52 students have failed in maths. So totally there are 130 students. And now they are saying that 24 have failed in both English and maths. So 24 English fail and maths fail is 24. So we have written this. After this, now it is just like a game, maths game. You have to fill this blank spaces here. So these two numbers should add to 52. So this would be 28. When 52 minus 24 is 28. 8 plus 4 is 12 and 1 carry. 2 plus 2 is 4 and 5. And now 28 plus something is 68. So this something would be 40. 40 plus 28 is 68. And now 40 plus something is 38. So this would be, sorry, 78. So this is 38. Now we have the data for all the areas. And what they are asking, the number of students who have passed finally. Who passed finally is, if they have passed the exam, then they should have passed English and they should have passed maths also. Both the subjects they should pass. So in that case, 40 is the number of people who have passed in both maths and both English. The answer is option A. I hope this is clear. If there is any doubt, you can please ask. I mean, in this way, you don't have to worry about the variables, A, B, C, D, other things. Is it clear? it's clear, we'll take one last question before ending today's session. Okay, we'll take one last question. So take 2 minutes to solve this question. We'll see how to go about this question here. So what they've said is, in a group of persons traveling in a bus, 6 persons can speak Tamil, 15 can speak Hindi, 6 can speak Gujarati. In that group, none can speak any other language. So if 2 persons in the group can speak 2 languages only, and 1 person can speak all the 3 languages, then how many persons are there in the group? So we have a group here, and there are 3 languages. So we have to use the Venn diagram, the 3 circles that we draw: Tamil, Hindi, and Gujarati. We have Tamil, we have Hindi, and we have Gujarati. And they're saying that, so we should normally start from the most inside part. There is only 1 person who can speak all the 3 languages. So this would be 1. This is Tamil, this is Hindi, and this is Gujarati. Tamil, Hindi, and Gujarati, and this is now 1. Only 1 person can speak all the 3 languages, and none can speak any other languages. So no one can speak any other languages, and they're asking how many persons are there in the group. And here we'll go one by one. If 2 persons in the group can speak 2 languages only, so let this be A, let this be B, this is C, this is D, E, and F. So in the whole group, they are saying only 2 people can speak 2 languages. Only 2 languages, 2 languages only. So only people speaking only 2 languages are A, B, and C. So the sum of this thing for the whole group, they're saying that there are only 2 people who can speak only 2 languages. So A plus B plus C is equal to 2. So only 2 people can speak only 2 languages. So A plus B plus C is 2. And then they are saying that in this group, 6 persons can speak Tamil. So E plus B plus 1 plus A would be 6. So A plus B plus 1 plus E is equal to 6. This is one equation. Then they are saying 15 can speak Hindi. That is A plus D plus 1 plus C. This A plus D plus C plus 1 is equal to 15. Then they're saying 6 can speak Gujarati. 6 is this, all these 4. B plus 1 plus C plus F is 6. So B plus C plus F plus 1 is equal to 6. Now what we'll do is, we will calculate the variables, only the variables here. So first equation, so we have A plus B, this is B, plus E is equal to 5. And then we have A plus B plus C is equal to 14. This is 14. And then third one is B plus C plus F is equal to 5. B plus C plus F is equal to 5. Now, when we add these three equations, we will get there are two A's, two B's, and two C's. So we would have 2A plus 2B plus 2C plus we have 1 E, D, and F plus D, E plus F is equal to, this is 5 plus 5, 10 plus 14 is 24. This is equal to 24. And we have A plus B plus C is 2. So if we take 2 common out of these 3, this will be 2 into A plus B plus C. 2 into A plus B plus C is 4. 4 plus D plus E plus F is equal to 24. 24. So now D plus E plus F is D plus E plus F is equal to 20. Now we have A plus B plus C, we have D plus E plus F. So what we need to do is just add all the three. That is, for total number of people who are there in the group, that is A plus B plus C plus 1 plus D plus E plus F. When you add all these three, all these characters or numbers, you would get the number of people in the group. So what I'll do is, I'll add these three. Yes, the total is equal to A plus B plus C plus E plus D plus F plus 1. So now we know A plus D plus F, and then last this 1. So A plus D plus C is, this is equal to 2 E plus D plus F that we have calculated here. D plus E plus F, E plus D plus F is 20. So 2 plus 20 plus 1. This is equal to 20 plus 2 is 22 plus 1 is 23. 23. So the number of people who are there in the group is 23. The correct answer is option C. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubt, you may ask. I'll be happy to clear your doubts.